know how I got these scars. My father was a drinker and a fiend. And one night, he goes off crazier than usual. Mommy gets the kitchen knife to defend herself. He doesn't like that. Not one bit.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tunji's podcast. I'm your host, Tunji Taylor Lewis. My people, I've had a little bit of a busier day today, which is why I might be just like a little bit lower energy. My voice might be a little bit lower energy, but I'm gonna try to, deliver on this right now. I actually just got back from hopping on another friend's podcast. My friend Daniel Chai has a podcast that he's doing elsewhere in Vancouver, and he invited me on as a guest for his podcast. You could probably see a clip of it on my Instagram story. You can go check that out later on. Whenever that comes out, I'll be sure to give you guys the link to that to go check that out. Today, I kind of want to talk about this, a bit of a looser subject today. You know how I get sometimes. I talk about deep stuff, my introspective subjects, or my big philosophical, ideas and all that stuff. But today is just going to be a much simpler one. I want to talk about just like the random stuff that I'm scared of. There's some things that I'm scared of that are just really, really silly, and even to me are absolutely hilarious. But nevertheless, I am scared of those things. I think I'll list out 3 things that I'm scared of. The number one thing that I'm scared of is that I'm scared of clowns and mascots. I don't know what it is, but like these are things that bring amusement and joy to children, but for whatever reason it just throws me off. Like clowns, I don't know, I just don't like the way they look. I don't like how they I guess it's just the fact that once you put on that clown costume, you're just not human anymore. Like you're just from another planet. You're just something unhuman, and the fact that you want to talk and interact with me makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like clowns. I don't like mascots either. You know what I mean? Like I guess I just, for whatever reason, the part of my brain that's just like there's an actual like human being inside that mascot costume like doesn't quite, compute. I can't really think logically when it comes to mascots. Mascots are just weird to me. Like, they're too big. They're too unhuman. It's similar to the clown things. They're just like not human. They're just not of this earth. And like, maybe it's the African in me where it's just like if I see something that I'm not quite, understanding, I immediately fear it. So yeah, that's the first thing, y'all. I don't like clowns and I don't like mascots. That's the first silly thing that I'm scared of. The second silly thing that I'm scared of is birds. All birds. Don't like them. Don't like birds one bit. I don't like it. Especially like my worst fear, legitimately, is getting chased by an ostrich, because the ostrich is like the worst kind of bird. Like the way its neck is, the eyes bulging out, the tongue sticking out of the beak. Like I just don't like birds. I'll tell you where this fear of birds came from. That's what I should have done with the mascots, actually, is talk about my origin of fear. I don't know what my origin of my fear was with mascots. I think I just never liked them as a kid. But anyways, but my story about that is like one time I went to Disneyland and they wanted us to take pictures with Buzz Lightyear. And I was just like, nah, I'll pass. I wasn't comfortable with it. So that's a quick story about that. But my story about why I'm scared of birds is one time I was driving along. I was in the backseat of my parents' car and I saw a bird that had been smashed like on the street by a car. Like the bird was like smashed, right? And I just thought that it was just like the most disgusting thing that I had ever seen. Like I was about to hurl and throw up in the, like you could see like the outline of the bird. Like the beak was all here, like the wings were all here, but it was flat. Freaked the hell out of me, right? And that just shook me. That just shook me. Who's here, y'all? Savannah's here. Hey, shout out to Savannah. We just did the podcast together. But that shook me. Could not handle it. And that image of that bird flat on the pavement kind of turned into a fear of birds, and just a discomfort in the appearance of birds. And now I just don't like them. Like, we used to, like, a funny story was like, one time I was in university. At the university I went to, Trinity Western University, there's a bunch of Canadian geese that are just walking around. I'm cool, like, being around birds as long as there's a distance between us, right? So I'm walking, but like, I'm looking to make sure that the birds are behaving themselves and that they're moving out my way. A bird came flying in my direction, and I literally, like, dropped all my stuff and ran away in front of a bunch of people who laughed at me. I didn't appreciate them laughing at me at all, because I was going through a very traumatizing experience at that point. I didn't know why they felt like that was the time, you know, to laugh, but that's what they did. So yeah, that's the second thing, silly thing that I'm scared of. I don't like birds. The third silly thing that I'm scared of is small talk. Don't like small talk. I don't like it. I don't like it. But not just small talk, because like, if you're having small talk with somebody who you genuinely want to catch up with, or somebody who you're genuinely interested in or friends with or cool with, that's one thing. But small talk with boring people, oh my lord. Oh. That's something I actively avoid, man, because I just can't handle it, bro. I'm so scared of it. I put a post out recently on my Instagram and Twitter about how I am so introverted that when I saw somebody who I kind of knew a little bit, I hid behind a corner until he passed away, until I was out of his sight, because I knew that if I like kept on walking and we bumped into each other and we started talking, it was gonna be just like a horrible, you know, painstaking session of small talk, just talking about nothing, just talking about stuff that both of us are gonna forget about as soon as we leave each other's like just talking about just random stuff, you know, the weather, you know, like how the world has changed so much from 10 years ago. You know, social media is at this point now, but before it was here. Yeah, it's crazy. How's work going? Oh, work is going good. How you doing? Well, work is, you know, hey. I guess the reason why small talk is like so painful for me is just like, I enjoy having like meaningful conversations. I do enjoy connecting with people in a real way. Like, there's people like my brother and my girlfriend, they're extroverted, right? So they like to just like talk and hang out and get to know people and stuff like that, you know, just for the fun of it. I guess I'm just like not one of those people who likes to do it just for the fun of it. I like to like make meaningful connections. That's why I think growing up I didn't like going to parties, because like parties was just like, you go there, you get drunk, and that's kind of it. And like, you know, a bunch of wild stuff ensues. Everybody talks about all of the crazy stuff that happened because everybody was drunk at the same time. And that just wasn't fun for me, because like, again, like for me it's about like, you know, actually hanging out with people and getting to know them and, you know, growing deeper relationships with them and stuff, you know. I'm an introvert, so, you know, I get my energy from, you know, like being by myself and being alone. So if I must interact with people, it has to be meaningful, or else I just feel like I'm just wasting my social energy, you know, like my very limited social energy. It's getting bigger, it's getting better. Like, I have more of a social energy than I did before, but I don't have like just like, you know, whole bunches of it, like, you know, my extroverted, you know, aunt and girlfriend and brother and stuff like that. So yeah, yo, that's it for me. Kind of a loose episode today. Kind of a stupid one, but yeah, now y'all know a little bit about me. By the way, you guys are getting to know me on an intimate level because of the stuff I talk about on this podcast. I'm scared about how much y'all know about me, but I guess that's the power of social media. That's dope. So peace out, y'all. Until next time, see you tomorrow.